Okay, so I've got the front bogie lift up on blocks. I'm just going to cut through here. Hopefully I've not cut too much off it. Special electrical cutters. Generally used by most auto leckies. By the time you cut back just enough, should be pretty well right. So once you cut the T-plug off, probably not the right term for it, but that's what I call it. You're left with just these two wires. Red is always positive, black is always negative. You want to cut down the right amount. These are a bit tough, bit tight, bit tough. These wires are a little bit different to the ones on the first pair of motors. I don't understand. Different grade of wire maybe. That's a bitch to strip. A lot stiffer than the other lot of wire too. This will be the first power up of this motor. Hasn't been powered up before now, so let's see how we go with it. Put it on the red. Hey, here we go. It's only running a 12 volts, a 24 volt motor, but at least I can see how the chain is tracking. So it's running across the roller, the tensioner. So to be polarised properly, this is now running backwards. So if I swap it into reverse, there's a little bit of slackness in this chain. That's neither here nor there at this stage. This will be, you might be able to see the little hook down here I've made up out of a bit of caranga wire. That should keep this right where I need it. Oh, hello. I think the battery chargers are stripped out. Yeah. I'm just using a standard battery charger in the background. Don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can just see it on the track in the red box. So, that is a test run. Once this thing comes back in, because that's taking a lot of current, honestly. These will take 25 amps worth of current. You can draw higher than that, than about 30, 35 odd amps. But at least from this I can see how things are tracking. That's running a straight line, that's running a straight line, that's important. These are parallel, which is important. Amount of movement sideways or up and down is negligible. But at least this visual gives you an idea of how it works. Let's strip out again. But at least having this visual, you know now what's going on underneath the rail car. First power up, front bogie, second rail car. It's running on 12 volts. Well, I'm at it, folks. Just got the rear bogie back out from under the rail car. This is the first power up of the rear bogie, just to double check everything is running properly. So, as you might be able to see, again to the battery charger. It'll trip out very soon, no doubt. You can see here the chain tension are wobbling around a little. That's neither here or there, just at this stage. By the time I finish making adjustments, as long as it's tracking properly, I'm happy. As long as this chain down here is tracking properly, that's pretty much important. This is running the forward direction. As you see, black to black, red to red. Oh, there we go, sorry. So, not too bad. I'm kind of happy the way this is happening. And visually, what I'm checking, the wheels are running fairly true, which is great. Even though this last one on the right hand side looks a little bit on the wobbly side. Obviously when we put it on the lathe to do the final trim, or final cut you might say, it did end up facing that wheel on the outside, but otherwise it's running pretty darn good, I reckon. Well folks, some time later has passed and I've got the work stand out. Got the scissor jack underneath it to keep it tilted. Now this stand is only 1.5 metres. This section of the ramp is the old ramp. There's 2 metres plus the new 2 metre section on top. 5.5 metres all up. And down here is where the join is. So let's swing through. I'm about to bring the second rail car up on my work stand. There's another one of my YouTube videos. Should you be interested in taking a look through more of my channel. And that'll also be under the Kev's Workshop series. And as you can see, my track down here without the rail car in the way. The 4 rails again as before, 7.25 inch on the outside. The 2 inner rails are 3.5 inch. The rail just in on your right hand side is a 5 inch gauge to the far left hand rail. All of this stand will also be converted in due course, and that'll also be multi-gauged all the way to the end here. So I've got enough flat bar steel to do my main line. I will end up needing to get some more for the ramp. So these pieces here, for those who haven't seen the work stand video, I've got sliders here so they can offset to suit 3.5 inch and 5 inch rails. The rails themselves will be welded to the steel tubing, So as I pull across, it'll be 5 inch either way, or 3.5 inch either side. So this is a forethought, and at least this way, once I wind this up, get on the stand, you'll be able to see it from underneath. For those who haven't seen my previous video on my 7.25 inch ramp that I built, that's how I'm hooking the anchor to the coupling. Bit of 20mm steel tubing going through the coupling, and that goes to the winch. And for those who have not seen this down at ground level, it's quite a climb when you think about it. I've got these guides here at the front, make sure it doesn't trample sideways. Previous measurements, which I'll clean up eventually. And of course, that's where the point of impact is, or contact I should say. The reason why I'm coming down low like this is I'm going to pull this from the main line up onto a work stand. That'll enable me to get up underneath it and see what I'm actually doing. At this point you can see how low the motor is to the track. I can't affordably have it any lower than that. So this being the driving axle. In a moment you'll be able to see how much of a change there is, or how much pivot this pivot point has. So stop for a moment just to double check things, make sure everything's running properly. But you can see here how much at this point these bogies are able to pivot. And at least from this point of view, if I can move myself further up, see how that sort of tucks up underneath the lower skirt, how much gap there is at this end. So that gives you some indication how much flex these things have. And the front end will be about the same. I'll just zoom in here for you. So this will take pretty moderate up and down movement when you're going along uneven track. And as this back end will show you, again, it'll take a fair bit of up or down travel as it needs to. As I look up from this part of it, as I see the angle that we're at, that sort of puts things into a better perspective. And for a ramp it is fairly steep. And again, up underneath you can see where the motor's sitting. If I can get it in, get the camera in up underneath there. So hopefully, in a moment we'll get this to the top and I'll be able to show you from underneath it slightly different. This would certainly work better if I had a motorised winch. Here's a view you won't get too often. You can now see it from underneath. Yep, this is the front bogie end. Now there's a hidden front coupling from behind. I'm going to lay down on the ground just to see underneath it. I hope this is interesting for those of you at home watching. And you see what I mean about the two lots of valve springs. See how the safety chain's hanging. What I need to get to is put a terminal block in up underneath here, which I've got one aside specifically for this job. So I'll end up getting into connecting that up today. I've got a few modifications, as I was saying, up into here. It's not easy for me to show you perhaps. I've got to cut away part of the chassis just for the chain to clear, and you may not be able to. Let's see if we can. This riding block up here, I've got to take away part of that for the chain to clear it as well. Now directly underneath the floor of the railcar, front bogie. So you can actually see things are positioned where the drive chain is and tensioner. There's a little bit of steel to be cut out of there. But otherwise it's not too much of a modification, it really isn't. So I'm hoping this will amaze some people or help illustrate something to those in the know. As who are engineers and model engineers will understand a lot of this. But for those of you who just enjoy trains, don't often see this sort of point of view, well, hopefully this will be an eye-opener for you. As we move from the front bogie, come in and around, underneath the workings of everything. Try to bring you up the back end of the rail car. And again, we'll see from underneath. So rest it on the track. What sort of clearances we've got, which is basically identical. Again, yes, I'm going to have to cut away some of the chassis. That's neither here nor there for me. I expected to do that anyhow. This is a shot I won't be able to get when she's on the track and operational. Not unless I can get a small camera, like a GoPro or something, I can mount up underneath. So I'm going to try, see if I can borrow a mate's GoPro and see if I can get the camera mounted underneath and see how we go with it. So as we come back around, yeah, the Henderson plug's a little bit squishy, but that's not a problem, I can sort that out. Now coming into the pillow blocks, up into the motor area. And you can see there is not a great deal of space left. And if I bring the camera around the other side, by comparison, again, trying to squeeze the camera into places I can't. See how the wire hook is holding the cable up out of the way? It's only a bit of cut hanger wire. Let's see if I can zoom in here for you. This is where my issue is down here. But by the time I will grind away part of the chassis, it won't be a problem. That's to be expected. So there you go, folks. New railcar bogies are now under my second railcar. Gotta remember, started this back in 2017. I started the first railcar. I left this for quite some time so I could get the first railcar finished. And as you can see, I'm at a stage now where A, I've got these correct bogies under it, and B, it's getting closer to finish. Here's the two borrowed bogies that I've been using for the last couple of years. They'll go back to me mate that owns them. He's got no carriage for them yet, so it doesn't matter, he says. And at least from here, you can get an idea of where I'm at. So hopefully within the next few months, my sheet of steel will be on. Hopefully it'll look finished. Hopefully I'll have this cab roof finished and the spectacle plate over the headlight area, which will have the clear plastic for the headlight lenses, you might say. And all going well the next few months, this may be travelling behind my first railcar or leading the first railcar, who knows. For those of you who are watching this via a Foxtel machine or via a mobile phone and you can't see the comments and all that, just look through on your web browser for Kev's Workshop. You'll find all the YouTube videos listing, or a lot of them, but my website is locoman.free, F-R-E-E that is, .n for Nelly, F for Freddy. And then on there you scroll to the bottom of the page, go into current projects, and you'll be able to see all the shots I've been taking over the last couple of years of this coming together. And hopefully by the end of 2026 it'll be all complete. So if you like what I'm doing, please let me know. Is there anything that you prefer to make my videos more interesting, more exciting, more engaging, whichever? Then please again let me know what you want to see as far as me railways and stuff. I know I could get some X-ray stuff, but hey, wouldn't be allowed on YouTube of course. But apart from those requests, anything I can help you out with, HONZ, 7 1/4, anything in between, hopefully I'll be able to help you out with it. Till next time, catch you later. Up we into the front bend. And wheel by hand.